The boy who can read minds. In a quiet village surrounded by hills and rivers, there lived a young boy named Toby. He was not like the other children. He was quiet, always watching people, always listening. His mother, Mama Ngozi, raised him alone after his father died in a fishing accident. Toby never played much. While others ran around chasing goats or rolling tires, Toby sat under the big mango tree, thinking. People thought he was strange. But Mama Ngozi always told him, "You are special, my son. God gave you a gift." One day, something strange happened. Toby was sitting near the market when he suddenly stood up and pointed at a young man. He stole the tomatoes. Toby shouted. The market woman screamed. "Yes. My tomatoes are missing. How did you know?" The man dropped the basket he was holding and ran. People chased him and caught him. They returned the tomatoes. Everyone looked at Toby with wide eyes. Some people came to him, asking questions. Others feared him. Even children stopped playing near him. Toby didn't know how it worked. He just heard people's thoughts like whispers in the wind. When he focused, the whispers became louder. One evening, Mama Ngozi sat with him near the fire. She held his hand and said, "Some gifts are heavy, my son. But if you carry them with love, they will not break you." Toby nodded. He wanted to help, not to scare people. Days turned into weeks. One morning, the village chief sent for Toby. His daughter had been missing since yesterday. The chief's eyes were full of pain. Toby looked into his eyes and listened to the wind. He closed his eyes. Slowly, he said, "She is by the river." A man with a scar on his face took her. The chief jumped up. "I know that man." They ran to the river and found the girl tied under a tree. She was crying. The man with the scar was caught and tied. The village shouted with joy and praise. The chief hugged Toby and called him a hero. But not everyone was happy. Some elders whispered, "This power is not normal. What if he uses it for evil?" One night, someone threw a stone at their house. Another night, someone poured ashes at their doorstep. Mama Ngozi cried in silence. She tried to smile for Toby, but he saw the sadness in her heart. He felt it. He heard her thoughts, "Maybe we should leave. Maybe my son is not safe here." The next day, Toby packed a small bag. He looked at the mango tree and touched it one last time. Mama Ngozi stood beside him, wiping tears. "Where will we go?" she asked. "Somewhere people won't fear me," Toby said. They walked away from the village. People watched them leave, some with tears, some with relief. They walked for many days until they reached another village where no one knew them. At first, Toby kept his gift a secret. But one day, a child went missing during a storm. People searched everywhere. Toby listened. The wind spoke again. He followed it and found the child hiding in a broken canoe near the river. When he returned with the child, the people were amazed. They asked him, "How did you know?" He looked at Mama Ngozi, then said, "I just listened." This time, the people welcomed him. They didn't fear him. They saw his gift as a blessing. Toby smiled. For the first time, he felt like he belonged. And so, the boy who could read minds became a quiet helper in his new home, always listening, always helping, guided by the whispers of the wind and the love of his mother. Life in the new village was peaceful. Toby and Mama Ngozi lived in a small clay house with a garden of maize and beans. The villagers often came to ask for help or advice, and Toby would listen, sometimes hearing the truth hidden in their hearts. One day, the village healer came running. "Toby, please help me. My herbs are missing, and a child is sick. I need to know who took them." Toby sat still and closed his eyes. The wind whispered again. "A boy. He was hungry. He thought the leaves were food," Toby said. They found the boy under a tree, crying and holding his stomach. The healer helped him, and the boy got better. The healer looked at Toby with tears in his eyes. "Your gift saved a life." More people began to visit. Some with joy, some with problems. Toby listened to all. But his heart grew tired. The whispers became louder, sometimes painful. He couldn't sleep well. He started waking in the night, hearing thoughts from far away. Mama Ngozi noticed. She sat with him and sang old lullabies, brushing his hair like when he was small. "You need rest too, my son. You are still a boy." One evening, a group of strangers entered the village. They wore long robes and carried sticks. They said they were wise men from the mountain. They heard of a boy with strange power. They came to see him. One of the men spoke, "Child, we too have gifts. We help young ones like you. Come with us to the mountain. There, you will learn how to carry your power." Mama Ngozi held Toby's hand tight. Her heart was afraid. But Toby looked at her and said, "Maybe I need to understand this gift." She nodded slowly. "Where you go, I go." So they packed their things and followed the wise men through forests, rivers, and hills. The journey was hard. But Toby felt peace. The voices in his head became softer as he climbed. At the mountain, there was a school made of stones and trees. Other children were there too. Some could feel pain in animals. Some could see people's dreams. Some could move leaves with a whisper. Toby smiled. For once, he was not strange. He began to train. He learned how to quiet the voices, how to choose what to hear, and how to protect his mind. The wise men taught with love and patience. Every night, Mama Ngozi lit a small fire outside their hut. She prayed, sang, and thanked God for this new chance. One day, the head teacher called Toby. "Your gift is strong. But the world outside still fears what it does not understand. One day, you must decide how to use your gift." Toby listened. His heart was full. He was no longer afraid. Years passed. Toby grew taller. His voice deepened. His heart grew wiser. He had become a young man with calm eyes and a quiet strength. One morning, a bird flew to the mountain carrying a message. The old village, the first one, was in danger. A disease was spreading. People were dying. They needed help. Toby looked at Mama Ngozi. She nodded. "It is time." He told the teachers goodbye, and together with his mother, they began the journey back. When they arrived, the village was silent. Smoke rose from cooking fires, but the air was heavy with sadness. The chief, now older, welcomed them with tears. "Forgive us, Toby. We did not understand. Now we need you." Toby said nothing. He simply walked through the village, listening to the wind, feeling the sickness. He worked with the healer, helped find the roots and herbs needed, and comforted the sick with his voice and his gift. The people watched him. Not with fear this time, but with respect. Children followed him again, not with distance, but with joy. One evening, he stood under the same mango tree where he used to sit. Mama Ngozi joined him. "You have become what I always saw in you," she whispered. Toby smiled. "I only followed the wind, and your love." That night, the village danced.